grab a coffee. This is going to be a long one. By the way, hit subscribe. If you haven't, join the fight for truth, and let's dive in to today's bombshell. Let me put that homemade pumpkin cake we made for the fall. Anyway, today's bombshell, let's go into it. FBI Director Kash Patel's bold firings expose a deep rot tied to Democratic power plays. And it's just the latest in a long, ugly pattern of contempt for conservatives. From Virginia's Jay Jones to decades of overreach, this is a wake-up call. Let's start with the FBI shakeup rocking D.C. and have another sip of Java. Patel axed dozens of agents and the corrupt CR-15 task force after uncovering illegal surveillance of nearly a dozen Republican lawmakers during the Biden years. Names like Senator Lindsey Graham, Josh Hawley, Ron Johnson, Marsha Blackburn, Cynthia Loomis, and of course Bill Hagerty and Dan Sullivan, and additionally Tommy Tuberville and Representative Mike Kelly. They were all targeted by the FBI under that task force. And as they targeted, they went for call records, they went for metadata, the works. Now, Axios reports it stemmed from Arctic Fox, a probe rolled into Jack Smith's Trump election case. You all remember all of that in the mainstream media. And that started in April of 2022 under Agent Timothy Thibault. And it was scrapped in January of 2025, right after a Supreme Court immunity ruling. Coincidence? Hardly. Patel, posting on X, he confirmed the firing, so we know that's been done. Quote, transparency and accountability, promises kept. That sounds like our man, Kash Patel, doesn't it? No nonsense, straight to the meat. Evidence was buried in restricted FBI files, is what the findings have been. And with 50 to 60 personnel cut since February, Deputy Director Dan Bongino calls it the 2024 mandate to drain the swamp, echoing Trump's pledge. And Senate Judiciary Chair Chuck Grassley, he's livid, calling it worse than Watergate, demanding answers from Patel and AG Pam Bondi. Now, conservatives on X and National Review hail Patel's Russiagate record as proof that he's delivering for voters fed up with unchecked power. And I know a lot of us have sort of felt that way, especially with what happened with social media and shadow banning. We could get into all that, but we're going to stick to this Jay Jones thread. But critics, Democrats, fired agents, they're crying foul. The FBI Association called the cuts unlawful, whining about lost expertise. So see you in court on that one. Now, a lawsuit by 3 ex-agents claims it's White House appeasement. Voters, they reject that noise. In a 2024 landslide, choosing reform over bureaucracy. Again, reform over bureaucracy. This is what we voted for. Did you vote for this? I voted for this. Now, the worst bureaucracy is the bureaucracy that spies on elected Republicans. That's unacceptable. But this isn't new. This is the irony of the whole thing. If it's irony or tragedy, it's a pattern. Democrats don't just disagree with conservatives. They dehumanize us. And they justify the abuse. You can look at the social media comments on everything, and it's a constant justified abuse. And this is the problem. Now, if you look at Virginia's Jay Jones, Democrat nominee for Attorney General in 2025, screenshots from his 2022 text show him fantasizing about violence against GOP House Speaker Todd Gilbert and his family. Now, think about that for a second. If that's not unhinged, I don't know what is. But his words were three people, 2 bullets, Gilbert, Hitler, Pol Pot. Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head. Now, I hope the YouTube engine doesn't block these because these are really terrible, but we're reporting the news, and these were words said by an official. He also talked about pissing on the graves of Republicans. Again, his words. Now, this was sent to GOP delegate Kerry Coyner, who begged him to stop. Jones just laughed. Okay, LOL, okay. Jones apologized Friday, claiming full accountability, but won't quit the race against Jason Miyares. Dem allies like Abigail Spanberger call it disgusting, but dodge real consequences, citing election stakes. So Governor Glenn Youngkin and Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears say it's disqualifying. I think a lot of us feel that way. Trump called it sick on Truth Social. Miyares is hitting back with a $1.5 million in ads. Can you trust Jay Jones to protect your children? I think the short answer and the long answer are both 2 letters. No. In Purple, Virginia, this could sink the Dem ticket. And this is what a lot of the video yesterday was on. Jones's hatred mirrors a decades-long trend. The Obama-era IRS targeted Tea Party groups, if you remember that, delaying 400 plus nonprofits tax status before 2012. Admitted by Lois Lerner, no one prosecuted. Russiagate. FBI's 2016-2020 Crossfire Hurricane used the Clinton Steele dossier for FISA abuses on Trump's team. Cost $32 million. No collusion. In 2020, 51 Intel officials. Now this is one that really sort of got me a little hot under the collar. But in 2020, 51 officials, Brennan, Clapper, they lied about the Hunter Biden laptop to help Biden. Then in the 2017 baseball shooting, a gentleman that I've met and had many opportunities to chat with, great guy, a Bernie Sanders fan nearly killed Steve Scalise, targeting Republicans. Biden's DOJ, relentless lawfare against Trump and allies with 1,200 J6 arrests, most of them nonviolent. And that's going to happen too with the number of agents that were embedded, so we'll see where that falls out. But from FBI spying to Jones's violent texts, Democrats frame conservatives as deplorables to justify overreach. Polls showing rising partisan violence skewed against the right. Voters demand accountability. In 2024, Patel's delivering and Virginia's watching. We need probes. We definitely need probes. We need to subpoena Jones's text. We need to connect the dots to IRS, DOJ abuses. Conservatives, they have the facts. Let's ask them to use them, and I hope we do use them. But that's the truth, Patriots. And comment, share. Tell me how the Jones scandal hits you. I'd like to know how y'all feel about it. Sort of what you're getting on the street. Kindly make some comments in there. Subscribe moving forward for more unfiltered drops. Thank you for the views and the hours on yesterday's video. Very well attended. Lots of engagement. We're really appreciative of that. Plus, please remember you can share these videos on your social media and keep your friends informed, because you can't get this simple basic information. And I vet this information. I use 3 different sources of AI. I dig really deep. I'll spend 3 hours to get 15 minutes at least. 3 hours to get 15 minutes of content back and forth, if not more, sometimes 2 days. Anyway, this is Motley Patriot. Stay vigilant, stay free, keep your MAGA hat on. Thanks for dialing in. Take care.